In the heart of the vast plains, where the sun rose and set in brilliant hues, lived a young Kiowa boy named Tyanada. At just 12 years old, Tyanada had a spirit as wild and free as the wind. His dark hair flowed like the river, and his bright eyes sparkled with curiosity. He spent his days exploring the rolling hills and thick forests surrounding his village, feeling an unbreakable bond with the land that provided for his people. Tyanada loved to climb the tallest trees, where he could see for miles and hear the whispers of nature. The songs of birds filled his heart with joy, and the rustling leaves seemed to tell stories of ancient warriors and spirits who once roamed these lands. He often ran barefoot through the grass, imagining himself as one of those brave warriors, strong and fearless. His connection to his tribe was deep. Tyanada learned the traditions of the Kiowa from his elders, who taught him about their ancestors and the importance of respecting nature. Every evening, he would listen intently as they shared tales by the fire, their voices blending with the crackling flames. The stories filled him with pride and a sense of purpose. With each passing day, Tyanada's adventurous spirit grew. He dreamed of exploring every corner of his world, but little did he know that a dangerous encounter awaited him in the woods, one that would change everything he thought he knew about bravery and friendship. One sunny afternoon, Tyanada ventured deeper into the woods than ever before. The trees stood tall like ancient guardians, their leaves dancing in the gentle breeze. As he climbed over fallen branches and skipped over patches of wildflowers, he felt a thrill of excitement. Thoughts of brave warriors filled his mind, pushing him to explore further. But as he wandered, Tyanada suddenly stumbled upon a clearing he had never seen before. The ground was soft and inviting, but as he stepped forward, he felt a sharp pain at his ankle. Confused, he looked down to find a wolf trap clamped tightly around his leg. Panic surged through him like a rushing river. He had heard stories of traps like this, meant for cunning wolves, but never did he think he would become one of their victims. His heart raced as fear gripped him. "What will I do?" he thought, feeling helpless against the cold metal that held him fast. Tyanada tried to wiggle his leg free, but the more he struggled, the tighter it seemed to grip him. Alone in the vastness of the woods, uncertainty weighed heavily on his young shoulders. As darkness began to creep into the sky, Tyanada's courage began to falter. The sounds of the forest that once filled him with joy now echoed threats in the dark. He longed for the safety of his village and for someone to come and rescue him from this terrifying situation. Little did he know that help was on its way, bringing hope with it. As Tyanada's cries echoed through the trees, a wise mountain guide named Kiowa heard the faint sounds of distress. Kiowa was known throughout the region for his deep understanding of the wilderness and his extraordinary skills as a tracker. With keen instincts and a heart full of courage, he quickly set off in the direction of Tyanada's voice. The forest was alive with evening sounds, but Kiowa remained focused, his eyes scanning the shadows. He moved through the underbrush with grace, each step deliberate and quiet. The mountain guide had spent years learning the paths of these woods, and he knew how to navigate even in the dimming light. As he approached the clearing, Kiowa could see Tyanada struggling against the trap. The sight tugged at his heartstrings, for he understood both the boy's fear and desperation. Without hesitation, he rushed forward, calling out reassuringly, "Hold on, I'm here to help you." Kiowa's calm demeanor instantly soothed Tyanada's racing heart. As soon as he reached the boy, he assessed the situation swiftly. "This is a strong trap," Kiowa explained as he knelt beside Tyanada. "But don't worry, I know how to free you." With experience guiding his hands, he carefully worked on the trap mechanism while speaking gently to Tyanada, reminding him of their shared love for nature and strength. Within moments that felt like ages, Kiowa managed to release Tyanada from his metal prison. The boy was free. Relief washed over him like rain on parched earth as hope returned to his spirit. As Kiowa reached the clearing, he could see Tyanada's frightened face illuminated by the fading light. The boy's eyes were wide with fear, and tears glistened on his cheeks. Kiowa felt a rush of urgency but kept his movements slow and steady so as not to startle him further. "You're safe now, Tyanada," he said softly, kneeling beside the boy. "I'm here to help you." Tyanada's breath hitched as he struggled against the trap, but Kale placed a reassuring hand on his shoulder. "Focus on my voice," he encouraged gently. "We'll get through this together." Kale could feel the tension in the boy's body begin to ease slightly. He needed Tyanada to trust him, and the bond between them began to form in that moment of vulnerability. Kale carefully examined the trap, noting how tightly it grasped the boy's ankle. He spoke calmly as he worked, explaining each step. "This part is tricky, but I know just how to release it," he said, his hands moving with practiced ease. He took a deep breath, assessing the mechanism before him. "Just remember, you're not alone. Keep breathing." With each click and movement of the trap's mechanism, Kale could see Tyanada's fear receding, replaced by cautious hope. At last, with one final adjustment, the trap sprang open with a sharp snap. "You're free!" Kale exclaimed, helping Tyanada to sit up. Relief flooded through the boy's body, bringing a smile to his face as he realized that this terrifying ordeal was finally over. As Tyanada and Kale gathered themselves in the clearing, a distant sound began to weave through the trees, the rhythmic beating of drums. The deep, resonant sounds echoed through the pines, transforming the night into something magical. It was the heartbeat of the Kiowa people, a connection to their ancestors and a reminder of their rich traditions. Tyanada's heart swelled as he listened, the drums calling to him like whispers from the past. Each beat seemed to tell a story of bravery and unity, resonating with the struggles and triumphs of his forebears. The Kiowa had long held ceremonies marked by the sound of drums, bringing the community together in celebration and remembrance. This tradition was not just about music. It was about honoring those who came before them and nurturing the bond with their land. Kale smiled at Tyanada's captivated expression. "The drums remind us that we are never truly alone," he said, his voice barely rising above the sound. "They connect us to our people, our history, and the spirits of this land." Tyanada nodded, feeling a warmth spread through him as he realized how profound this moment was. Even though he had faced fear in the forest, he now felt surrounded by the strength of his ancestors. As they listened together, the primal rhythm enveloped them, filling Tyanada with an invigorating sense of belonging. In that moment, he understood that every step he took in these woods was part of a larger journey, a journey shared with his tribe, guided by their spirits and traditions. As the drums continued to pulse through the night, Tyanada felt their powerful rhythm resonate deep within him. For the Kiowa people, drumming was more than just music. It was a vibrant expression of their identity and heritage. Each beat echoed with stories of ancestors who had walked the same paths, reminding them of their shared history and values. The sounds symbolized unity, bringing together families and friends during ceremonies and celebrations. Whether it marked a gathering for harvest or honored a warrior's bravery, the drums created a bond among the people, reinforcing their strength as a tribe. Tyanada could feel this connection weaving through him, like threads in a tapestry that told the story of his people. In moments of joy and sorrow alike, the drums served as a comforting presence. They celebrated life's milestones, births, marriages, and accomplishments, reminding everyone to honor the beauty of existence. At the same time, they offered solace during times of loss, allowing individuals to express their grief collectively. Kale watched Tyanada absorb the significance of the moment. "Drumming helps us remember who we are," he said softly. "It connects us to one another and to this land." Tyanada nodded, feeling invigorated by Kale's words and the surrounding sound. He realized that every drumbeat was an invitation to be part of something greater, a calling to celebrate life, honor his ancestors, and embrace his identity as a Kiowa boy. In that magical atmosphere, he felt not only safe, but also empowered to carry forward the traditions of his people. As the last echoes of the drums faded into the night, Tyanada sat beside Kale, feeling a new, unbreakable bond forming between them. The rescue had not only freed him from the trap, it had opened his eyes to the wisdom of the mountain guide. Tyanada studied Kale's weathered face, reflecting years of experience and a deep respect for the land that surrounded them. "Thank you for saving me," Tyanada said sincerely, his voice filled with gratitude. Kale smiled warmly, placing a hand on the boy's shoulder. You showed great courage today, Tyanata. Nature can be both beautiful and dangerous, but it's important to listen and learn from it. They shared stories under the starlit sky, speaking of their adventures and dreams. Kale spoke of his travels through majestic mountains and wild rivers, while Tyanata recounted tales passed down from his elders about the spirits that guarded the forest. With each story, they discovered shared values, an appreciation for nature's beauty and an understanding of its power. As they talked, Tyanata began to see Kale not just as a rescuer but as a mentor and friend. He felt inspired to learn more about the wilderness and to embrace his role within his tribe more passionately. Kale's presence echoed the teachings of his ancestors, that caring for the earth is a part of who they are. In that moment of connection, Tyanata realized how fortunate he was to have crossed paths with Kale, a bond that would guide him as he grew stronger in both heart and spirit, ready to honor his traditions in new ways. As dawn began to break, Tyanata and Kale started their journey back to the village, moving through the forest that now felt more like a trusted friend than a mysterious place. The sun cast golden beams through the trees, illuminating the path ahead and filling them with a sense of adventure. With each step, they shared stories of bravery that echoed through generations. Kale spoke of his own youthful escapades, how he once climbed a towering mountain to find a hidden waterfall. It was a test of my courage, he explained, but the view at the top made every challenge worth it. Tyanata listened intently, inspired by Kale's tales of exploration and resilience. In return, Tyanata recounted stories he had heard from his elders, tales of brave warriors who had protected their tribe and the sacred animals that roamed the land. His eyes sparkled with excitement as he described the spirit of the eagles soaring high above, symbolizing freedom and strength. Their laughter filled the air, weaving a tapestry of camaraderie that deepened their bond. As they continued on their path, Kale paused to point out different plants and animal tracks, teaching Tyanata about nature's secrets. Every creature has its purpose, he said, instilling a sense of respect for all living things. With each story shared and lesson learned, Tyanata felt a growing confidence within himself. He knew he was returning not just as a boy but as a young warrior ready to embrace his identity and responsibilities within the Kiowa tribe. The journey home was no longer just about reaching the village. It was about the adventure they had shared and the wisdom that would guide him in his life ahead. As Tyanata and Kale approached the village, the sun rose higher, casting a warm glow over the gathering crowd. The sounds of laughter and excited voices filled the air, announcing their return to the tribe. Tyanata's heart raced with joy as familiar faces came into view, each one filled with relief and happiness. "Look, they're back!" someone shouted, and an eruption of cheers followed, echoing through the valley. The elders stepped forward first, their expressions a mix of concern and pride as they welcomed Tyanata and Kale with open arms. A grandmother who had always seen Tyanata as her own took him in for a tight hug, her tears sparkling like dewdrops in the morning light. "I was so worried about you," she exclaimed, holding his face gently in her hands. "You've returned home safe." Kale stood nearby, receiving appreciative nods and warm handshakes from the elders. They expressed gratitude not only for Tyanata's return, but also for Kale's wisdom and bravery in rescuing him. "You are a true friend to our people," one elder said respectfully. As the community gathered around the central fire, drumming resumed, filling the atmosphere with vibrant energy. They celebrated Tyanata's safe return with song and dance, honoring both him and Kale for their courage and bonds formed through this journey. In that moment, surrounded by warmth and love, Tyanata felt truly at home among his people. He realized how precious these connections were. Each heartbeat of the drums resonated with his heart, symbolizing unity not just within himself but within the entire Kiowa tribe. In the days that followed his adventure, Tyanata often reflected on his journey through the woods, the fear he felt, and the bravery it took to face both nature's challenges and his own emotions. The experience had changed him in ways he hadn't anticipated. Where once he saw the forest as a place of uncertainty, he now understood it as a living entity full of lessons, beauty, and wisdom. Tyanida began to spend more time in nature, observing the delicate balance between all creatures. He learned to appreciate every rustle of leaves and every bird song as part of a greater tapestry that connected him to his ancestors and his tribe. Nature was no longer something to conquer. It was a teacher guiding him on his path. Through the stories shared with Kale and the warmth of his community, Tyanida discovered courage not just in facing fear, but in embracing vulnerability and connection. He felt empowered to take on new responsibilities and support his tribe, understanding that true strength came from unity and respect for one another. As he sat by the fire with friends and family under a starlit sky, Tyanida knew he would carry these lessons with him always. With each heartbeat echoing like the drums of his people, he felt rooted in his identity. This adventure had awakened a sense of purpose within him, a promise to honor his heritage while bravely forging ahead into the future. Tyanida understood that life's journey is about discovering who we are, staying connected to our roots, and embracing the bonds that unite us all.